Scene 1. Play opens to the faint sound of distant Christmas carols, perhaps from a radio in another room. Marie stands awkwardly by the kitchen island, hands shoved into her pockets. She wears a thick, practical coat over her clothes, as if she might leave at any moment. Teresa bustles in from stage left, carrying a ceramic mixing bowl and a wooden spoon, attempting an air of bright cheerfulness.
Ah, there you are, my love. Perfect timing. I was just getting everything ready. Isn't this just the coziest Christmas morning? The snow looks beautiful out there. Not too much, just enough to make everything sparkle.
Marie offers a small, non-committal shrug, now looking at her mother. She glances at the array of baking supplies with something akin to apprehension.
Now, I thought we'd start with your grandmother's gingerbread recipe. You always loved her gingerbread man, didn't you? With the little frosted buttons. Remember that year you tried to make one look like Dad? Oh, it was a mess, but so sweet.
Don't really remember that.
Oh, you were so little. Maybe 4? You had flour everywhere. It was adorable. Right. Well, let's get you an apron. I have one with a little reindeer on it. Very festive.
Teresa moves to a drawer, pulling out a frilly apron pattern with a reindeer. Marie flinches almost imperceptibly.
I'm fine without one.
Oh, nonsense. You don't want to get flour on your nice sweater. It's a proper baking tradition. Come on, let me help you.
Teresa takes a step towards Marie, apron outstretched. Marie takes a step back, a beat of silence, thick with unspoken history.
I can manage if I even need it.
Well, of course. You're a grown woman. Silly me. Just thought it would be fun, like old times.
Teresa places the apron on a chair, then picks up a bag of flour, her movements a little jerky.
So the flour first, always the flour, unless it's the butter. Oh dear, I always forget the order. Your grandmother had it all memorized. She was such a master baker. Yes, I think 2 cups of flour should do it. Your grandmother always said 2 cups, never a grain more. She said baking was a science, not an art. Can you imagine? I always thought it was more like a prayer. You mix in all the good things and hope for the best. Are you sure you don't want to wear an apron, sweetie? This flour gets everywhere. Remember that time we made gingerbread men and you ended up looking like a little marshmallow? You must have been, what, 6?
7.
7. That's right. My little marshmallow. You laughed so hard you snorted milk out of your nose.
I don't remember.
Oh, well, it was funny.
She clatters a whisk against the side of the bowl.
Sugar. Now for the sugar. Everything is better with a little sweetness, right? It's so nice to have you here, Marie. It's been too long. Christmas isn't Christmas without my girl.
You say that every year.
Well, it's true every year.
Silence. Teresa abandons the bowl, wiping her hands on her apron. She's searching for a new tactic.
It's cold out there this morning. Reminds me of the year we got Christmas.
Who?
Christmas, the little cat. Don't you remember her? That scrawny little stray I found shivering under the porch. It was Christmas Eve, freezing cold, just like this. She was all bones, bless her heart, crying this tiny little meow.
No, you haven't told me that one.
Oh, it was a riot. We laughed for hours. Family stories, you know. They're the glue. Speaking of stories, I remembered something truly lovely the other day, something that always makes me smile around Christmas.
Teresa pauses, looking at Marie expectantly, hoping to see a spark of interest. Marie just waits.
It was years ago before you were born, a few Christmases before, actually. It was snowing, just like today, bitter cold, and I was on my way home from work. And there, curled up on our porch step, was the most pathetic little creature you ever saw. A skinny, scruffy, stray cat. Freezing her fur was matted, and she looked utterly forlorn. Just a sad little heap of ginger fluff. And it was Christmas Eve. I couldn't just leave her out there, could I? So I scooped her up. She was so light, and she purred, just a tiny rumble. The moment I picked her up, it was like she knew she was safe.
And you brought her inside?
Of course, I named her Christmas because that's when I found her. She was just the sweetest thing. We gave her a warm bed by the fire, a big bowl of milk. She lapped it up so fast. It was wonderful. She stayed with us for years, just the most affectionate cat, always curling up in my lap. My little Christmas miracle.
What happened to her?
Oh, she lived a good long life, 10, 12 years, I think. We pampered her rotten. She was so grateful. Every time I think of her, especially around this time of year, it brings such a joy to my heart. Proof that even the most lost things can find a home, can't they? A little bit of kindness goes a long way.
A little bit of kindness. You brought a stray cat into your house. A stray cat.
Yes, Marie, what's wrong? She was hungry, cold.
Oh, she was hungry and cold. How convenient. A clean slate. No messy history. No memory of being a burden. Just a grateful purr and a wagging tail or whatever it is that cats do.
Marie, what are you talking about? It was just a story about a cat, a sweet memory. Why are you getting upset?
Because it's always like this, isn't it? You love the narrative, the neat, tidy package, the stray. You saved the project, the one you can feel good about.
That's not fair. I loved Christmas. I love that cat.
And what about the things that weren't so easy to save? The things that were already broken. The things that didn't just purr and lap up milk. The things that needed more than just a warm spot by the fire.
Marie, are you talking about?
I'm talking about the being the thing that wasn't a Christmas miracle. The thing that needed more and just never quite got it. The thing that wasn't chosen, that wasn't saved in time because it was too complicated, too much work.
The kitchen is silent. The festive decorations, the unbaked cookies, all seem mocking now. Teresa looks utterly devastated, her face pale. Marie turns away, unable to meet her mother's gaze, her shoulders hunched. The potential for baking, for connection, has evaporated. The cookies remain untouched.
Marie, I never meant. I loved you. I always loved you.
Did you, or did you just love the idea of me? The idea of being a mother until it got too hard?
I I don't know what to say. I just wanted, I wanted us to have a nice morning, like a family.
We are family, Mom. That's the problem.
The problem?
I was 15 that year.
What? Well, yes, I suppose you were. You were upstairs studying for your exams.
I had the flu for a week. Couldn't keep anything down. My head was splitting open. I remember calling for you.
I I must have been busy with the cat, sweetie. She needed so much.
The cat needed you. I called for you and you said you'd be up in a minute. You were cooing at that thing, telling it that everything was going to be all right. You never came up. Not for 3 hours. I was throwing up in a wastebasket because I was too dizzy to make it to the bathroom. And all I could hear was you downstairs telling a stray cat she was safe.
Maria, I didn't know it was that bad. You were always so independent. You'd never.
You never asked. It was easier to save something that couldn't talk back, something that couldn't tell you what you were doing wrong. You got to be the hero for a stray cat because you didn't know how to be a mother to your own daughter who was drowning in the next room.
That's not fair. I love you. I've always loved you.
I know. That's the tragedy of it all.
Marie turns away, her shoulders shaking. She walks over to the side counter, her back to her mother, trying to compose herself. Her eyes land on the nativity set. Teresa watches her, helpless. The silence is now heavy with truth instead of tension. It's more painful, but more real. After a long moment, Marie slowly, deliberately reaches out a hand and picks up the small carved figure of the baby Jesus, cradling it in her palm. She speaks to the figure as much as to the room.
Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That's a scripture from the Bible, from Matthew 11:28-30.
She holds the figure of Jesus tightly. The divine figure is an anchor in the storm of the room. Teresa takes a hesitant step forward, then another. She stops just behind Marie, not touching her yet. She sees her daughter's pain, finally, without the filter of her own narrative.
Grandma always said the smallest one, the baby, was the most important because he is hope.
Teresa follows Marie's gaze to the nativity set. Her eyes, still tear-filled, soften slightly as they rest on the scene. The harsh accusation in the air begins to dissipate, replaced by a fragile, shared moment of stillness.
Yes, hope. She did. She loved this set. Said it reminded her that even in the coldest, darkest night, something precious could be born. Something new.
I recognize this nativity scene.
Your grandmother gave it to me. She made most of the figures herself.
I always thought the sheep were interesting. They looked so lost.
They do, don't they? Lost, but safe. Look.
Teresa gently points to the baby Jesus in Marie's hand, then to the figures of Mary and Joseph surrounding the nativity scene.
They all gathered around Jesus, no matter how lost or afraid they were, no matter what journey they'd been on. They came to him, and he was just a baby, but he was the one who was meant to save them, save us all.
Marie looks at the tiny figures, then up at Teresa. Their eyes meet. For the first time all morning, the guardedness in Marie's eyes softens, just a fraction. Teresa's own eyes are filled with a desperate plea for understanding.
He saved them. Saved them. just by being there.
By being born, by being promised. They found their way to him, Marie, through all the darkness, all the cold, all the wandering. They found their way to the light. And that light, it saves them. It saves us from ourselves, from the darkness we carry, from being truly lost.
Marie looks down at the nativity set, then back at the untouched cookie dough. A profound stillness settles between them, no longer thick with animosity, but with a quiet, shared vulnerability. Teresa slowly reaches out and gently, tentatively, covers Marie's hand holding the baby Jesus. Marie doesn't flinch away.
It's never too late to find your way to the light, sweetheart. To be saved from being lost.
It's just a lot to carry, Mom. All of it.
I know it is, and I haven't always helped you carry it. I'm so sorry, Marie. I'm so sorry.
Certainly not. As humans are confined to their actions, but 1 Peter 5:7 states, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. He's capable of bearing our pain and concerns when we place our trust in him.
The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5 from the Bible.
The cookies, they won't get made, will they?
Not if we don't start over. Maybe we should warm the butter again. A little more carefully this time.
Okay, Mom. Okay.
Marie looks down at the nativity set, then back at the untouched cookie dough. A profound stillness settles between them, no longer thick with animosity, but with a quiet, shared vulnerability. Teresa's hand remains covering Marie's hand, holding the baby Jesus. They stand there for another moment, hands linked, looking down at the nativity scene and the unbaked cookies. The chilly Christmas morning still holds its breath, but a different kind of warmth has begun to bloom in the quiet kitchen. The promise of something new, a chance to truly be saved.
So the last play was Maggie's play. And again, we have to thank Annie for.
Yes.
Annie, did you get a chance to read the script before you performed it?
I was so distracted with everyone else's performances. I got about halfway through it.
Because
about halfway through.
You really showed that character, and it was kind of surprising that you were able to put that much into her character and show it in expression and not in dialogue, having never read the script. I
Proper
found
Yes.
cold read, right?
impressive.
Not
This is where I say, I told you so.
bad.
Gotta go. I'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
Okay.
Oh,
thank
bye,
you.
Sandy.
Thank you.
I think in that case, again, I have the script to thank for giving a lot of information to the actor about what is going on and what the relationship is without that being a huge mystery. So
Well, one of the reasons I brought that up is because when I first met Henry, he had another group where they would find some coffee house or something, and they would sit and they would either talk about art or they would do a play. And one of the times we met, my son came with me, and Henry actually got my son to take on a character in one of the scripts. And so my son is doing, reading the script, playing his character, and it gets to a point in the script where he goes, "Oh, I'm gay." And so, he had to kind of change what his character was like. But it was like you got the character from the very
Wow.
beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's really kind. Again, like I think it was written there for the actor to know what was going on with the character. There's tension, it says in the script, between the mom and the daughter. And I did get to where the cat situation, I think, is where I stopped, is where as far as I got in the script. And that little story showed the whole relationship to me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm suffering upstairs as a child, and you're taking care of this cat that you don't even know. So that, we've all felt like that before, right? We've all felt like the people that love us don't know how to love us the way we wish that they loved us.
Sure.
And it's hard to deal with when it's at a parental figure or someone that you look up to. And I just think that's again, like a great theme, and that's very common that everyone can relate to. And at least I did,
And I think working with Elizabeth makes it very easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for jumping in, and it was wonderful being your mom. It was
Great.
although I'm way too young, of course.
Yes, yes.
Well,
Oldest
it might
oldest
be.
sister.
I'm coming up on 40.
Just older sister.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It looked like it took so much time for you to try to look older. You really did a
Yes.
good job.
Oh, thanks.
The thing is, when this group was first formed, it was formed for basically two reasons. One, to give actors a chance to practice cold reading. The way this has evolved, a lot of times the actors get that chance in the breakout rooms, and then sometimes they meet during, a week or so before this performance and get a chance to practice it. But I think still giving everyone the chance. This is, how to get into a character quickly in a cold reading. And the other thing is, it's supposed to be a tool for the writer. It's a chance for the writer to hear the words and hear, does it work? Doesn't it work? Does something need to be changed? Can the actors pick up the character from what you've written? So for me, it's extremely important that when a writer presents a piece in this format, the writer should show up. I feel it's a necessary tool, and I feel it's a valuable tool for the writer, and I believe that it becomes a supportive effort with the other writers and the other actors for that writer to show up.
It's definitely a missed opportunity for anyone that's working on anything to not have a group, to not.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I just want to say at this point, maybe I said it before, but I'm really also impressed by the level of the writing in this group. Steven, you, and Rex, and Maggie, and Tasmin, obviously, rest in peace. You're all very good.
Thank you. But I also found that what's written on the page sometimes doesn't look very good, but when you get a good actor to bring out that character, it really shows what that script can be about. So
yeah, I was telling my partner about this group because we were doing this today, right? And I was with him earlier at an audition, and he works in film a lot, and he was like, "That's cool," because sometimes like that this group happens because he said something about like sometimes we're so wrapped up in film with like what the vision is and like what we want it to like aesthetically look like that we'll like watch it finally and then like I'll think, well, that script wasn't that good at all, and so, like he was like, I should get my buddies to do this, like, and we, I know we're not hired to do this, but I mean, compensation from film guys. They usually have a little more, you know.
I've even suggested to other writers that if you're working like on a full-length piece, and maybe you've got to a point where you're kind of struggling, this will give you a chance to get that part of the script in, hear it performed, and see if it needs to be improved or not, or maybe it is working and you just don't see it yet. So, and I think for me, I get a lot of feedback on scripts that I will even go back and change some things because of what I've heard from the group. And then when we were doing the Culver City live, again, they were 10-minute pieces, and a few times during the conversation, people would say, okay, but what happens to them next? And I'm going, well, that's the story. It started here, it ended here, that's the end of the story. But then I would go back home and I would think, maybe there could be more of the story. And I would end up writing it into a full-length piece because of the feedback.
How many, I guess question to the writers with that, how many of you do after this go back and edit and change the script that was performed?
I think usually we tweak things.
I never change anything.
This is perfect as is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gordon. What was that?
No, I was to say I'll tweak it a little bit depending on what my mood is, but
Yeah.
Robert?
Well, I kind of wish Maggie was here. I thought that this was the deepest thing that I've ever seen Maggie write.
I agree.
And I've seen quite a number of things from her, and sometimes they're kind of parables or fairy tales or some kind of thing. This was like really deep. And I just felt like, I know she has faith. I just felt like the way she introduced the topic of faith at the end, I thought it would have been more believable if Elizabeth's character could have taken some accountability. And it would have, because that's what brings about hope and forgiveness, is when somebody takes accountability for what they do, and you see their hearts that they wish they weren't that way, and then you're ready to get on board with that. So I guess you'll watch the feedback at some point in the future.
I agree.
And maybe that'll be of hope. That will hopefully be of profit to her.
Yeah, and I agree. It kind of hits you like, oh, now we're coming to the light. Whoa, you're getting into deep mother-daughter stuff, and I didn't think of what you thought of, Robert. It was like, yeah, if she takes accountability, that can make it better. But the way she just hit it with a light, like, whoa, okay.
And I agree with that too. And I think generally when she does these, they're more metaphorical, and sometimes the characters aren't even human. And so the ideal of delivering this message in a metaphorical way happens throughout the script, whereas this time it seemed like I'm giving you a real example of mother-daughter issue. Oh, but I'm going to put my religious theme in here at the end. And to me, it was possible for that mother and daughter to get to a point of forgiveness without having to talk about, well, we're going to move into the light. No, we're going to learn to understand, respect, and love each other, and let each other know that we do love them. We're not perfect. We don't always show what we should, but we do love you. And it just, I think for this particular script, she didn't need to go in that direction. And it seemed kind of odd to put it at the end like that instead of weaving
I was
it.
certainly surprised when we reached that point in the script and we started. Not because I have a problem with it or it was bad in any way. It was just threw me off a little bit because I didn't know it was coming, but maybe that's good.
It seemed like two different Arthurs.
Yeah, yeah. But then also as a daughter with a mother relationship, yes, maybe I don't know. I don't write plays, so I don't know. But having her take accountability in the end would probably make the show a lot different and maybe, end the story in a clearer way. But I also think that's kind of the beauty of it, is that these people that you love, that you choose to love them despite sometimes them not being able to see how they failed you.
Right. Because they're not always perfect.
Well, so I think there's merit in both of those things.
Wasn't there? I think there was a line though where she did. I see Robert's point. I agree with it, but at the same time, I can see what Annie's saying too. But I think the character did acknowledge a little bit, and to maybe Stephen's point is that, yeah, the people we love have limitations in how they express their love, and how they relate to us, and so maybe that was the best Elizabeth's character could do. Yeah, I totally missed that Maggie wrote this, so I'm still processing that part because I agree that was totally not a Maggie script from what I've seen in the past.
I'm a little relieved that Maggie wasn't here because since I didn't prepare anything. But
No, Robert was right. I've
great.
been in a couple of Maggies. They're more like fairy tales.
Yeah, they're wonderful. I love her writing.
They're great. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're wonderful.
Yeah,
Maggie.
yeah. No,
one
this
was
is
heavy.
really.
The
Yeah.
vampire one, and there was resolve in the vampire one, but it was about seeing the light.
Yeah, true.
But it was still great. They're great scripts. Maggie's awesome. You'll meet her. She's great.
Except for the cockroach, it never saw the light.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it didn't want to, so it's fine.
No.
I think it was funny to me. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a religious person, but if that character, Marie, had grown in that way and accepted these things, and it just seems like maybe she would have come in with a little bit more love, a little bit more acceptance of her mom, maybe. I think that's why it surprised me.
Maybe there should be a scene that she adds or something where it's like years later and she comes and greets the mom and does have that revelation. Yeah, like that would have been a bit of a like the resolve we all feel like was lacking a bit. Yeah. But yeah, totally.
I'm just so unlike Annie. I spent 4 decades of my life being, I guess you'd say, religious, and I wrote plays during that time with biblical and religious themes. But I always felt like there was a need to make it real and have people go through real things and find a real way to resolve them. It wasn't based on a
miracle, a Christmas miracle, like in the script.
Yeah. Doctrine, belief, or religious icon. It had to be something that they went through as a human being with the help of the divine, but still, the divine don't bypass your soul. So that's anyway, my 2 cents.
Was the age of Marie's was it mentioned in the script? I don't remember in the beginning, like when the characters were described. Does it ever give an age?
Teenager. I think the word teenager got dropped there.
It was
She said she was 15 or 17 when something happened with the cat.
Yeah.
I do not get the impression that she still lives at home with her mother.
Right.
No, in the beginning in the character breakdown, she's Teresa's adult daughter.
Hmm.
I got like dementia possibly vibes, which kind of made me like with that age thing. I was 8, I was 15, like it twisted in my brain a little bit near the end. I don't know why, but I don't think
This
that's
reminded me very much of my mother.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
But,
okay. So
but
self-obsessed kind of more so.
I have to answer to that because, you
Yeah.
know, you sit around and you talk with family members. Oh yeah, you remember this and that, and you know, like even friends, you know, they remember it differently. And some people may say, "Oh yeah, I felt like it was, you know, you were like, you know, this age. No, I was that age."
Yes, my
And
mother
that,
tells
and I,
everyone that I was born in the 90s and I was born in the 80s. She separates it by 10 years, and she's the one that did it.
and this is like
Hard.
further, and I think this is further where Teresa's clueless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Elizabeth talking about the cat, and then you think, oh, that's nice. She was so nice to the cat, but then you realize when Annie comes in to say what happened about, oh, you gave more love to the cat. It's like, oh, I love the difference in that, and then you realize, oh, the mother wasn't so great.
Yeah,
She was
the
taking care of a
perspective.
cat instead of taking care of her daughter, and I like that. Not a switch, but I like the different distinct characters and what really happened and her version of it, her version of it. Can
And
be
it
a
affected me too, the way
yeah,
that
oh yes, I could see how it
Elizabeth
affected you. It's
played
like,
it.
okay, very well
She
done.
oblivious.
Yeah, there were some moments in there where there, you know, it was very, you know, I was very affected by it also. But I think it speaks to like, you know, the family dynamic and you know, between the mother and the daughter, you know, and it got like for the past month I was working on this scene with you know, my acting group, and it was a mother-daughter relationship. And all of a sudden we were playing it, we were trying to be nice with it, you know, with the words and the thing, and then we it blew up, and it became, just did it yesterday, our final pass, at which it became physical.
Oh,
Not like at each other, but things were flying around the stage. And I was
wow.
like, wow, this has never happened before. But, you know, my partner and I had been discussing it and everything for 4 weeks, and we're like, you know, let's just go there, you know, and see where it takes us and everything. And so I was like, oh wow, you know, so today I was kind of thinking, why aren't they like, you know, I was expecting Marie to start throwing the flower around, you know, like, you know, in frustration with her mother, maybe because of this other thing that I was doing. But anyway, it totally worked, and it was
It was,
totally
it was
awesome
a good
reading
thing the
it.
cat wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing that
My
probably,
cat
yeah,
was
the cat
meowing a little
died.
bit. I was like,